A few days ago, one of my viewers highlighted a common problem that beginners face when learning about procedural materials. In this example, he followed my procedural wood tutorial but couldn't quite apply it to a cube properly. So today I'm going to show you how exactly it works and why you have to do a couple of extra steps. So here in my 3D viewport, you can see we've got the wooden sphere which we made in that procedural wood tutorial. And I'm going to press Shift A and then under mesh I'm going to choose cube. I'll then press G and then Y to pull it along. And I'm going to change my timeline here by left clicking the clock and choosing the shader editor. Then, with my cube selected, I'm going to left click this button here, which looks like a checkered ball with an arrow beside it, wood material. Now you can see our wood is working okay on our cube here, but on the top and bottom, it has this noisy effect. If I drag up my shader editor here and have a look at my nodes, if I scroll along to the left here, you can see that in order to achieve this grain effect, we scaled on the Z axis here. And although this works great for the X and Y, it means the top here will be left untouched. But how can we fix this? One thing you could do is you could turn this to 1, which would reset everything, and then you could change the X and put in the number 15. And now you can see we've got wood along the top. The problem with that is now we've got the same problem on the side. So all that does is really rotate the wood. This is pretty natural wood behavior when you think about it though, because the grain usually just goes in one direction. But of course, we're wanting to have it so we can get two separate grains going along our cube. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo that, and since it's impossible to have both of these going at the same time, because if I was to set the X scale to 15, you can see now just another side has been scaled. Some of you may already have scaled it on both axes, and this will work fine for a cube, but you can see this may cause some issues with the sphere. I'm going to set that scale back to 1, and what we're going to do instead is create a duplicate version of this material and apply it just to these faces here. So I'll left click this red and black checkered ball called material properties, and I'm going to drag this out, and I'm going to press this plus button here to add another material slot. This allows me to apply a second material to my object. Again, you're going to want to make sure you have your cube selected for this. Then, what I'm going to do is left click this button again and choose the wood material. Then here, there's a button here called new material, and this just duplicates it. You can see now it's called woodborder.001 because this is just the duplicate of the other one. Now I'm going to press tab to go into edit mode, 3 on the keyboard to go into face select mode. I'm going to left click this face here, and then I'm going to move bottom here and shift select this face here by pressing shift left click. Then I'm going to left click my woodborder.001 and press assign. When I press tab to go back into object mode, you'll notice nothing changes. But technically, this second material here is now applied to those faces. So when we make any edits in this material, we will see changes on those faces. And since this is a duplicate material, it won't affect the other one. So I'm going to set my Z back to 1. You can see the change happening. And then I'm going to go to X and change that to 15. And there, now we have our wood grain working. However, one issue you might encounter is if I want to change the scale of this, you can see it's only going to affect this material here. But there's a nice easy fix for that. What I can do is right click the scale and press copy as new driver. Then I'll come back to my first wood border material, and here I'm going to right click the same parameter, so the scale parameter, and press paste driver. Now when I come back to my first material, if I change the scale here, you can see it affects the scale of the entire material. Now we can have easier time adjusting our material like that. But yeah, that's about it. I hope that solves your question, and thank you so much for the video suggestion. This is definitely an important concept to understand for getting better at procedural materials, so it's good that you brought it to our attention. If you want to learn more about creating materials in Blender, I have a full course which goes a little bit deeper into these concepts. This course is totally free and available on YouTube, so I highly recommend checking it out if you want to improve your material knowledge. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.